Pep Guardiola spoke to the press ahead of tomorrow night's Champions League match against Feyenoord, and he insisted he'll stand by his philosophy despite being on a 5-game losing streak.
What should I change? If I should change in the first season and everyone asked to change, we will not win 7 Premier Leagues in 8 years. Impossible. Now I'm not going to change, although we believe the success we have and our big believers in the process and the fundamentals that we have to do. What you have to believe is that the players are injured, come back in the best form. The players that play a lot of minutes for the reason of injuries, some rest to come back, get one good result to change our mind, and believe completely deeply that when we are winning a lot, always I was thinking these two shall pass. And right now, these two shall pass too.
Here we are, Pep Guardiola talking earlier today.
He's not going to start lumping it in the mixer.
Stick it in the mixer.
Oh, actually, Charles Hughes was right.
Hit it up to the big man. That's right. Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, look, a lot has been made of Rodri, and of course he is a massive miss, but it does feel like it's a bit more than that, Troy, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I think he's right. I think you miss big players. Miss him, Kevin De Bruyne. If you took those two superstars out of any team in world football, you'd be struggling. I think they've lost a bit of balance as well in their midfield. They look, I don't want to say leggy because they're unbelievable footballers, but the Spurs ran all over them. You don't normally see that happening. And I was at the Bournemouth game when they lost to Bournemouth, and they ran all over them as well. I think one thing that we do have to start talking about, which a lot of people aren't, is everyone tried to be Pep, but in this 8 years, everyone's learned how to play against it. We've had 8 years of study to play against it now. So you're starting to see people be a little bit more unafraid that they're not going to turn the ball around the corner and be in a foot race with Erling Haaland. So, look, he's been unbelievably successful. He's had the blueprint, but he's got to be nervous. He has to be.
Yeah. I mean, they still created a lot of chances. I mean, they could have scored 2 in the first 10 minutes. It could have been a different... I'm glad it wasn't, but it could have been a very different game.
I've said that to you about City before. When they lose, they always miss a lot of chances.
Yes.
Whatever. So that does happen. But they look so open, and also, as soon as they can see, like a relegation team, it's mad, they're not a relegation team, but like a relegation team, as soon as they concede, you can see all the confidence draining out of them, and that's the way it feels.
Because they've not been used to it, have they? They're normally the front runners, they're normally ahead, they normally get hold of the game, and I just think a few people are getting older, and they're going to have to tweak, and they're going through their kind of transitional phase that everybody else has been through for the last 3 or 4 years. And when they lose the big players, like Rodri, he's the best in the world at his position. You're going to feel that. He dictates games, but also comes up with massive goals. Over the last 2 years, you see the goals he scored at the important times. He's the one that drives them, and without that, with the likes of Kovacic, who is a good player, but it's
he
not
wasn't
the same
on Saturday, so that made a difference. From a Spurs point of view, not only was it a good performance, but James Maddison, I was going to ask you, from a player's point of view, do you get a boost playing on your birthday? Because he certainly had a spring in his step. Does it make a difference?
He's probably thinking about the party afterwards. He's probably having a good time. Do you know what? Just talking about that, I saw Mads' mum and dad recently at an event, literally last week, and I was talking to them about, he looks stressed. He looks like he's carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders, and we had a good chat about it. But I just think to get James Maddison playing the best version of himself, he needs trust. And I think a lot of the times earlier, again, you're a Spurs fan, you saw it more than me, but I think Ange just took him off a lot of games. In some games, he's not been the worst. No. But he seems like an automatic sub that he's going to come off.
I think partly, Troy, quite often in the game, he'll slow the game up. Tottenham at their best do it quickly. And Maddison at his best, as we saw, was making decisions quickly, getting into good positions. There have been games where he just seems a bit off it. The ball gets taken off of him in key positions, and I could understand why Ange was taking him off.
But I'm saying he's a flair player. Those guys, we call them the delicate ones. You've got to look after them. You've got to let them play through the bad moments and get their rhythm again. You can't just bring them off and go, right, you're going to sit on the bench for 2 and now you're going to come back in. I think with like the Richarlison, someone like that, you can do that because it's more of an impact. But it's great to see him smiling again. 2 very good goals, well-taken goals. And is it still pressure on the manager or not?
Well, I don't know much true pressure was on the manager.
Yeah.
I don't think they were in mind to sort of sack him or even think about doing that. But we know what Tottenham are like. We were talking about this earlier on. We got Fulham next Sunday, and we'll all be sitting there thinking, "Come on, we can't mess this up." You know, we played so well. We have to carry that into the next game.
You do always worry about Spurs in the games we expect them to win. They're the ones when you're like, right, go and make that big step. The game before international break, forget who it was who you lost to.
Ipswich.
You're like, right, this is the one to make the step. And they never seem to do it.
But it was interesting with City. Chelsea, we played them in the first game of the season. They had everybody fit. They were fantastic. It was Savinho's first game.
Yeah.
I thought, this bloke's brilliant, isn't he? But as he's gone on, he's obviously got massive skills, but he's so raw in his decision-making. On Saturday, I was just watching him say, will you ever make the right decision whether to pass or shoot?
Yeah, no, I agree. That's youth, though, isn't it? Yeah. And obviously trying to get used to the league. I think there's a lot of pressure in those wide areas for City. Because when they were at their best, Raheem Sterling and Riyad Mahrez, unbelievable. What was it? 20 goals each, 15 assists. It's really hard to try and fit those gaps. Jack has obviously struggled at times. Doku's struggled. I just don't know if they're really convinced. When I look at Haaland, he wants it quick. I think if you put Haaland into Spurs team, it's perfect because they're going to get wide, they're going to cross it, or they're going to go really quickly. When it gets to City, they're going to build, and you just see him just getting man-marked now. And I think they need to up the tempo just 5%.
I'm hoping they'll finish 7th and end up in the conference. Can you imagine they'd win that so easily? They're playing Noah about 25-0.
No, it's going to be. I mean, Andy was saying earlier on off air that he thinks he potentially could finish outside the top 4. Do you think that's likely? Because they're going to get players back.
They are. I still think they're favourites to win the league. I know it's mental. But
really?
I just think they've got the last 4 years, over the last 10 games, they're the guys that go.
But everyone thinks they'll do that automatically. But I've got a feeling that just the way Pep's talking, I think all dynasties in all sports, they often there is a down year.
Yeah.
Not everybody. It's not possible to keep winning every single year, and this could be their down year.
No, I totally agree with that. I just think because of the history that they have done that, they still get the benefit of the doubt that there's a run coming at some point.
Yeah, maybe.
And also, I just think Arsenal have not been great. Liverpool, while they've been winning, haven't been great. We haven't looked around and go, oh my God, they're the team of the year. I just think there's going to be loads of change over Christmas.
We'll talk Arsenal in a minute, but I thought they looked really good. That's the best they've looked for some time on Saturday.
I was there.
You didn't think so?
I thought Forest were really bad. I just thought Forest went there with the mentality of we'll try and survive.
That's interesting.
But yeah.
Well,
sorry.
No, you know more about it than I do. I just thought, the way Ødegaard, it's so clear he makes them tick.
Oh, he's 100% in that regard. He is the level.
And I just thought they were more fluid, as they had been sort of 2 years ago, 2 seasons ago. But anyway,
can't disagree.
A couple of weeks off helps, doesn't it, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not bitter at all. Winter break.
Ridiculous.
I want to see those MRI scans. Send them to us. Of course not.
Paul Hawsbee and Andy Jacobs, Monday to Friday afternoons, 1 till 4. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.